It's a beautiful day to be alive. You will agree with me. We are grateful for your company. 90% of the news making the rounds today center on politics and good governance or bad governance, whichever way you look at it, and the ripple effect on society at large and the family in particular. So today, our conversation will attempt to provide some answers to how good governance can and does affect the family. John.
Yes, bad governance.
Bad governance.
Yeah. So, well, we wish you could get your perspective on this, and we shall tell you how to reach out to us on the during the course of the program. So right now, we'll take a quick recap of the week. Helen, tell me, do you have new notes?
No, I don't. I actually went to the bank yesterday, and the first thing the lady said to me is, we don't have the new currency. We don't have new notes. Do I process your papers? Hey, and I'm like, this is...
Process your papers to...
Yeah, to give me the old notes. Of course, I had to. I took old notes.
And then the deadline is...
The deadline is is Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday.
31st. It's Tuesday.
Yeah.
But because I asked her, I said, by Monday, if I haven't spent this money, if, whatever I want to do with it, if, I'm unable to spend it, and I bring it back on Monday, will you take it? She said, yeah, they'll still be collecting until Tuesday.
You know what?
That's
you know what I experienced?
Said.
I went to one of the fast food outlets yesterday, and after buying my usual meal, I realized that, and paying with my card, I realized that I needed to use to get a soft drink.
Okay.
So I brought out my old note and gave to the lady, and she said, no, we stopped receiving old notes. So I said, wow, okay, so I should go outside now and scream for government to hear that at this outlet, you're refusing...
Because the deadline is 31st.
Because the deadline is still Tuesday. And she said, well, the notice is there on the door. Anyway, I brought out the new 1,000 Naira note and I gave to her. I said, now I want to see what kind of change you'll give me. Would it be new notes or old notes?
What did she
So she looked at me and said, hey, we don't have change.
She's not serious.
So I collected my in my pocket. But you see, it's just an indication of...
Yeah.
How disorganized. It shouldn't be this hard, really. It shouldn't be this hard.
Probably that's why they're asking for, we are asking for a little, the July extension, I think it's is over the top, but maybe another month. Maybe. Because we really, really are not ready. I don't know what is going to happen.
Well,
it's serious.
Let's wait and see what will happen. Let's get some good news.
Okay, what's the good news?
The president was in town.
In Lagos.
During the week. And he commissioned the Blue Rail line. He had the inaugural ride on that line. And I think it will bring succor to a lot of people in Lagos.
Okay.
So, Helen.
Yeah.
Next week, you will come on the Blue Line. I'll pick you up at CMS.
Please do. Are they already, is it already operating?
I would expect so.
Okay now. All right. It's today with John and Helen. So much happening, and we just pray and hope that we're able to get a grip of, what's going on. And despite all of the ups and downs, and the uncertainties here and there, that you find something to, hold your head
we will get
up
there.
high there.
Remember that smile, Helen.
Okay.
Well, they say that we are all political animals, rightly or wrongly. Now, the
notion?
The notion, is that women will make better leaders. Unfortunately, we have very few women in these troubled waters called politics. Why? To help us out with this and her thoughts of the disaster called bad governance is Oluwayemisi Mafe. She is our first guest on today's program, and I'd like to warmly welcome you because it's been pouring this morning. So you're welcome, madam.
Sure.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning.
Good to see you.
Okay, our guest this morning is a communications professional with over 23 years experience in consultancy, banking, insurance, social enterprise, and a lot more. Currently, she's corporate affairs and communications manager with Pfizer. Oluwayemisi Mafe is also a volunteer, and I'm so excited about that, and a social crusader for women, children, and the family. It's a pleasure to have you on the show this morning.
Thank you for having me.
It is a pleasure. Can I call you Yemisi?
Yes, please.
And it's in January, so we can say Happy New Year too.
Happy New Year too.
Thank you. And I like the colorful stuff on your shirt.
Thank you.
So you're welcome, Yemisi. You're a crusader for women and children. So tell us, what is your general opinion about the success or failure of our male-dominated government? Let's start with that.
Okay. Thank you for having me once again. So in the course of Nigeria gaining independence since 1960, we've had more of the men showing us that they are the leader, they are in charge, and all the works. But what do we have? We have a lot of people being marginalized. We have a lot of people. Okay, I always advocate for people living with disability because I am one as well. We have so many disadvantages in a country like ours. We have so many people that, they can't even fend for themselves just because they happen to find themselves living with one form of disability or the other. We have a lot of people that they can't even have the basic things that is due to every human being. You see a lot of houses being built around and mortgages and all the works. But how many of these houses are built with the intention to provide the comfort that is needed by people living with disability, which takes us back to lack of policies on the part of the government to say that when you are building, these are the things you put into consideration. When you come into a parking space, this space is reserved for people living with disability. When you go to the market, these are the kind of amenities that are available for people living with disability.
You see, we've talked so much about disability. Being a woman and being a young person is not a disability.
No.
Are they marginalized?
Being a woman, a lot of course, not so many women can afford to even pick up the nomination forms for the various parties that are available.
Okay.
What kind of policies do they have to support women that want to go into government, that want to come into politics and prove themselves? What kind of policies do they have in place for this kind of women or the younger ones, the people that are the youth leaders in most of these political parties? How youthful are they in the sense of that, in the sense of the age that is supposed to be the youth age?
I'm a youth. I'm 64.
Oh, at 64 you are a youth.
Yes,
that's interesting to know. It is the mind, but at the same time, I don't expect you to reason the way a 24-year-old will reason.
Oh, come on.
And I don't expect you to be able to do some things that a 24-year-old will be able to do.
Party and club.
It's not about partying and clubbing. It's about looking at the mindset of these people and saying that, the tech is calling for these people. What kind of policies do we have for these people that are of this age grade, and what kind of job can they offer even people of their age? How do we support them with policies, with taxation policies, with financial policies that aid the kind of things that they are bringing to the table? People like you at 64 will be looking at it that, this is the normal stereotype traditional banking. But they might come with something more youthful, something more virtually driven. Without seeing each other, we can transact, we can do a lot more. They will know how to bring all these things and, carve it out. But when you disenfranchise them, when you don't even, your nomination for does not even favor them, how do they contest and win the elections? And how do they even convince the populace that these are the people you should vote for?
I think we're happy now that a lot more of the younger ones are getting more interested in the future, of this country. And they're beginning to understand more that they can no longer just be nonchalant, because the policies and government, whatever happens, whether they like it or not, does affect them eventually. So we're happy that a lot more of them are coming on board. We were talking about women. Sometimes the women say, they don't give us enough chance. Allow us, give us, as if you don't need to work for it, as if you don't need to be qualified, to be there. So where are the women? Are we too busy or too timid to come out, or too busy with family responsibilities. Where are the women?
Okay, so living in a country like hers, you can't rule out the fact that a lot of us are still very, very traditional in our ways and our thinking. So the woman, you see a woman that says, oh, I want to contest for this position. Who are the people that the first set of people she voices it out to will be her immediate family members. How many family members will be like, oh, we're rooting for you, go for it, we're supporting you. The husband might even be like, over my dead body, you want to put me, you know, the husband might not support, the brothers might not support, the uncles might not support, the fathers might not support.
Would we say that that's because they probably haven't seen some element of leadership qualities or competence to be able to push out?
I think because we are still laid back, not because they might not have seen some elements of leadership qualities in her. But, you know, it takes a woman who knows her audience, a woman who doesn't care who is supporting or who is not supporting, to say that I'm coming out and I don't care who has my backing in terms of the traditional family setting.
Yes.
I am coming out, I have the resources, which is where resources also matters in our kind of politics in this part of the world. So, you know, when we have such women, the least we could do is to rally support around them. The least we could do is to say, oh, I'm rooting for you. Not just say it by words of mouth. Say it by your action. Get your PVC. On the day of the election, make sure you vote for them.
Yeah, I'm happy you said that, because I think a lot of it also goes to mindset, right? Because, yeah, people will argue that PVC or no PVC, women and our youth want their mandates handed over to them on a platter of gold, right? And that's not going to happen.
No.
Not in a democracy.
Nothing good comes easy, really, because I think we women should also realize that we've gone past the age of they are not giving us. We have to take it.
Yeah.
It's not about they are not giving us. It's about I want this and I'm going for it.
Yeah.
It's about we women also supporting other women and say that she wants it, she represents us, she speaks our language,
right.
she understands our temperament. So this is the person that we are rooting for.
Yeah.
It's about the woman also saying that it's not about I know her personally or I don't know her personally. It's about a woman being there, and a woman being there speaks to a lot of younger girls coming behind that would also get there one day because they've already seen a woman that did it. So it gives them that confidence, it gives them that belief that, oh, if she could do it, I will be able to do it one day as well.
Yeah, because in the corporate world, I mean, women are doing it.
Yeah, a lot of women are breaking the ceilings in the corporate world.
Let's extend it to politics.
Exactly.
It's about time.
And we've proven ourselves that it's not about what we are, it's about what we have upstairs.
What you bring, yeah.
And we are bringing it and we're showing the world that we are doing it excellently well.
That's the spirit.
So
that is the problem.
That is the spirit.
That is the problem.
That's the spirit.
That's the spirit.
That's the spirit.
The spirit of we can do it and we are doing it.
And we are doing it.
Yes.
It's not just saying it.
Yes.
I have your back.
Thank you. And we need a lot more men to have our back as well.
Great.
I think in the third world countries, not in Nigeria only, there seem to be some problem between what the leaders, the people in government, think that the people they are leading want, and what the electorates or the generality of the people actually want. How do we strike this balance, you know, to ensure that by the time you vote someone into the office, the person already knows where to take off and where, you know, they need to lead the people to? How do we get there?
Okay, so, you know, you said that there's this disconnect. The disconnect would always be there as long as money determines who gets there.
Okay.
So the people, the political elite would always believe that, oh, when it's time for election, just give them a few thousands and they will come out and vote for you. And, you know, once they get there, they turn their backs on you because they believe they've bought or they've gotten what they wanted.
Yeah.
They don't need to come to you anymore until the next 4 years before they come.
Yeah.
So they don't have the opportunity of even listening to you that, okay, so what are your challenges? What are the problems you are facing in this local government? What are the problems you are facing in this ward? In this marketplace, what are the challenges you are facing? I was at a market recently, and a certain political party came to campaign. So the market women were not like, oh, these people are stingy. The other party that came the other day, they were just sending 10,000 naira into our accounts. And I'm like, so you think because they are stingy, you should not listen to them? You think you should not ask them? The people that gave you 10,000 naira, did you bother to ask them that when you get there, what will you do for us? They said, no, they gave us 10,000 naira. Why should we ask them? You didn't ask them. You didn't tell them what they should do.
And that is bad governance.
That is it.
Now, let me ask you, what is good governance? What should our expectations be when we talk about good governance?
The basic necessities of life should be freely accessible to all, irrespective of who you know, what you have, or who you are supporting. Everybody should be able to afford to eat, no matter how basic. Should have something in their tummy without having to beg or let down their ego just because they need to get food on their table.
I will jump in again, Helen. I'm sorry. So how do we ensure we get good governance?
We ensure...
Is it with our thumb?
Yeah,
alone?
there is power in the thumb. And everybody should use it effectively.
Yeah.
There is power in knowing that who I put there will work for me.
Yes.
And I need to put the right person there. There's power in knowing that I need to engage these people. Someone might be contesting and have the passion to rule. So I should be able to sit you down and say that when you get there, these are the things I expect you to do for me.
Wow.
I expect you to provide security. I expect you to make sure that my children are in school. I expect you to make sure that there is water, good water for me to drink in my community. I expect you to ensure that when you get there, people living with physical challenges, I say come back to that, should be catered for.
Okay, so we have our guest still here, and the final question before we let you go. Now that a lot of Nigerians, politicians are going back and forth, campaigning and asking for our votes, how has it been? You know, how well have they fared, taking into consideration the importance and the relevance of the physically challenged people in our midst?
I will say that so far, I don't feel the pulse of this dispensation, you know. I don't see them engaging all the relevant people that they need to engage and be like, oh, so when we get there, what do you like us to do? I don't even see them putting into consideration the people living with physical or whatever form of disability. You are not listening to what they want. You don't even know what they want. And, you know, so it's so disappointing, to say the least. But at the same time, it's not too late. And this kind of people can also decide that, okay, let me see who out of all these people have our best interest at heart. Let's see how I can vote this kind of person in, and for them to make the kind of change I desire to be able to live better and fare better as a person living with disability.
Because of course you have representatives and groups all around, all over the country, so they should be able to engage.
Exactly,
you know.
exactly. But it's not been happening. That is what I see. And
well, there's still some time. There's still a lot of time.
There's still a few weeks before the election. It's left for people living with disability to decide to use their PVC the right way. It's left for every Nigerian to use their PVC the right way. Is this the kind of country you want to leave behind for your children yet unborn? Is it the kind of country you want to leave behind for your nieces, your nephews?
Is it about leaving behind, or is that the country that you want to continue to?
Let's even say that, okay, you know, you might be at that stage where you are getting closer to the exit door. So start thinking back.
Okay.
So I mean, the message there is that we should use our PVC.
Use their PVC the right
wisely.
way.
And that reminds us that, well, very soon you may not be able to get your PVCs. So just go out there and do so.
All right.
Well,
Thank
maybe
you
we should
so
thank you so much for
Thank
being
you.
us.
Thank
So
you.
much
Thank you for
fun.
making
Thank
time to
you.
come visit.
Thank you.
I warned you that your earrings may not leave the studio with
With
you.
our pleasure.
Yeah.
It's just us to clear their head.
Anyhow,
Let's take a quick break. Our next guest is in the guest room. She's ready to go to come and sit. So we'll just take a quick break while we say thank you once again. And
Thank you.
please don't go away. We'll be back shortly.